First of all, this is our village, and the name of the village we call Ultepesi. It's a village of 200 members. We have 20 families, but we are all related from the same clan. So when we get married between different villages.
Hi everyone, I trust you guys are well. I'm also doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Allow me to adjust my camera to this level. Yeah, so I know it's been quite some time since I posted, but this is because when I came home I thought I was going to have like an easy time and it was going to be easy for me to like go back to my routine of creating content like I had intended. But then I found myself, being carried away by so many things happening in my life that were equally important. It was back to school and my son had to go back to school and I had to prepare for that and prepare him. Then after that I had to like make a visit to Heaven's Gate, and then after Heaven's Gate I was in Naivasha. After Naivasha I went back home, and after home I came to Nairobi. After Nairobi I came to Narok County, and this is where we are. This is the Emayan luxury camp. I might not be pronouncing the word correct, but you will forgive me. And I'm sitting on the patio, and I would like to share like 5 things that I have learned that you need to know before you embark on a trip to the Masai Mara. So we are here with my friend, and her name is Beatrice, and we came in for like a 3-night and 4 days experience. It's been quite an amazing experience, I would say, learning so many things in this trip. But I'm making this content because I know like we have 2 types of travelers. We have a budget traveler and then we have like a luxury traveler. So on this trip it was a luxury travel experience, and for me I would say this has come in as a very good opportunity for me to like travel on luxury. I haven't done so much of that because even if I have traveled and explored many places, it's mainly on a budget. And I think once in a while maybe I have experienced luxury travel, but not on many days. Like let's say go to like a luxury place for lunch or for dinner and then leave. So having this experience has given me like a different total outlook in terms of how I view travel. But I'm here to talk about both experiences. So like the good thing with travel, with luxury travel, is that you get to enjoy like top-notch service. I would say like this place has the best accommodation, it has the best room, the service is excellent. We came an off season, so like we weren't so many people, so if you don't like crowds and then you come off season, like that is going to really work out for you. The other thing is that also like you get to have the best of everything. If you're taken to a room and you don't like it because there aren't so many guests, you can always switch out the room as long as it meets like the threshold of the amount that you have paid. But of course that comes with like a big pinch to the pocket. So for me this trip was entirely paid by my friend Beatrice. And I have always wanted to come to Masai Mara and experience the Mara, because I believe like the indigenous communities of Kenya, they have so much knowledge and skills to pass to us, and I think it's very important for us like the modern youth to have a touch of how to live traditionally and in sync with nature. And that has been my inspiration, and also like my dream right now is like to have a touch of all indigenous communities living in Kenya, people who are preserving their culture, people who are living in nature, and try to learn like the valuable lessons they have. So One thing with this trip is that we've had to do, like the first day we came in, we ate dinner, we rested, and then the next morning we went out for the Masai Mara drive, and we had an opportunity to see like a whole lot of animals. I'd say like the big five. We saw lions, we saw cheetah, we saw the giraffes, we saw a rhino from far, and then we saw elephants and so many other animals, gazelles, waterbuck. We saw all sorts of birds, which was quite an experience for me. So we did that the whole day, and then we had an opportunity to sit by the Masai Mara river, and had our lunch there, which was quite really good because you can hear the bird chirping, you can see the hippo from a distance, and then you can see crocodiles in nature, and then you're just in like a wide savanna. Apart from that, also, you know, we had the opportunity also to interact with people coming from different places who are coming to Mara maybe for the first time or the second time. Of course, there are people who come here to work because they are like professional wildlife photographers and also wildlife storytellers, which is also something that I'm trying to build for my portfolio. And being in this place really gave me like an open perspective in terms of like what to expect in the, I would say, like in game reserves or in conservancy areas, and like what is needed. So then day 3 today, so Beatrice decided to rest, but I decided to go because part of the package also entailed that we had to go to like the nearest Masai village, which we've gone. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, but you'll see that in like the video that I'm going to attach, where we were talking to the local guide.
Tonight we bring all the livestock
Salau,
inside, then we
and
shut
the
the
one
entrance
who
with
took me
some things
around,
over there.
and this actually gave me the concept on like what information I need to share in this video in regards to people who might want to do the
But these
Masai
sticks are
Mara
not
but on
enough
a
to keep
budget.
them off.
So as I was talking to Salau, of course we talked about like natural trees that they use that are medicinal and how they are used to heal different ailments. Apart from that, also he showed me like the traditional houses, the traditional dances of the Masai, and you know, somebody put like a hat on my head that is made of a lion's head. And after that, you know, wearing the Masai kikois, going to the market to see what the women are selling. And for me, that is really special because then, even with not so much money, I can always buy souvenirs from the women and somehow promote their art, and also see potential in terms of how, you know, like for my case, as a person who is always looking for market for unique and cultural products, trying to see what's the similarities between the products made by the Masais in comparison to what is being made by the Turkanas, and also maybe in future having like an exchange to learn about the Samburus and what they do, and the colors that they use, the beads that they use, the products that they make, so that even in future, you know, as our work continue to grow in my non-profit, maybe in future I can also be able to support these communities by helping them and linking them to markets to buy their products. The women are super friendly. I took photos of them, and you know, I come from an area where people don't like being photographed, and you know, of course I had to request for consent, but all of them were like, yeah, sure, you can take a photo of me. And requesting for group photos were like, yeah, cool, just let me see the photo after you take it. Yeah, so that was really nice. And you know, them trying to teach me a little bit of the Masai language, you know, like because I normally say sova, but it's apparently it's sopa. Yeah, so I know Masai friends and people watching this video will be like, no, Wanjira, you're not pronouncing it correct. So feel free to, of course, correct me. And also learning to say thank you, ashe. Yeah, so I can't remember what someone is supposed to say, but I've forgotten. But it was really nice. In like an hour of that exchange, it was really nice. Also trying to see and learn from them how like they normally light up their fire without the matchbox, using, they told me 2 trees, but I can't remember the name. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, so I think it's the marathon of being exhausted for a long time. You know, sometimes things just slip off my mind. Then also with the budget travel, so if you are out there, you'd like to travel on a budget to the Masai Mara, I have done my research and I have gotten like local people who can take you on a budget. because I know there are so many people out there who'd like to visit the Mara, but then they have not gotten the opportunity to, because you can't afford it, you see. So, and I was out here thinking, okay, what of people like me, wakulima wadogo, when you are looking for an option to come to the Mara, you'd like to do maybe like a day trip, you'd love to visit the Masai village, and also you'd like to maybe have lunch in one of the lodges within or the resorts. And what does that entail? So it entails you taking a matatu all the way to Narok town, and then from Narok town trying to find accommodation that comes to this area. So I have already had the contact of the guy, like Salau, and he has already showed me like a local accommodation they have for people who are traveling on a budget. Please note, if you want to travel on luxury, so we traveled using like an amazing luxury travel agent. Her name is Kimberly, and her name of company, she gifted us this bag. Guys, isn't this cool? So the name of her company is Smart Voyage and Safari. So if you're looking for a luxury travel agent, I highly recommend. Like, she's been so instrumental, so useful, and like everything she promised in this package, she has over delivered. Yeah, so if you're looking for linkage to both, I can share, and I hope like when you come on like the travel on a budget, you get to know like you're not coming for luxury. So do not expect the amount that you'll be charged by the local community members to sum up for anything like the experience we've had. But if you are coming to like live with the Masais, walk with the Masais, and live like a normal day-to-day life, sleep in the houses they sleep, eat what they are eating, learn a little bit of their language, and also maybe go to the wild, it's possible. And I think for like half the price that we paid here. Yeah, so I don't know if there's anything else that I need to share, but of course when you come into expeditions in the wild, there are things that you need to carry. I think I will put like in the description box, or maybe on the screen, like the items that you need to have with you. And also always remember to carry your identification in case of anything, and also like tell your relatives where you're traveling to, just in case of anything. Here I am.
How are you feeling today?
Good morning. Yeah, so feeling energized, energetic, and looking forward to the drive.
Yes.
And the amazing Big Five. I hope we are able to catch some Big Five. And here is Peter.
And we made our new friend, Peter. He is so lovely.
Thank you.
When you come here, please make sure to say hi to him. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, request for Peter. He's the best. I would like to say this has been quite an experience. Right now, waiting for Beatrice, who's gone for a massage, and me having a pile of content that I need to edit. God have mercy. I don't know where I'm going to start, but also quite thankful for this opportunity, because I know it's going to bring more opportunity. A special thank to my friend Beatrice, for accommodating me and having me on this trip. May God bless you, my dear. Yeah, and then for you guys who have watched this video to this level, God bless you, because it's through watching my content that I get to add to my watch hours, and hopefully in future I'll be able to monetize. To you, Kimberly, thank you so much for organizing this amazing experience. It's been like top. Yeah, and for everyone else out there, our last would want to travel, feel free to come to the Masai Mara. So right now we'll be having a jacuzzi. So for those of you who've never seen a jacuzzi, that's it. So also it's going to be my first time in a jacuzzi. I think it's going to be ready by 9 p.m. So we go have dinner. And then after dinner we come in the jacuzzi, then we leave tomorrow.